Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jennifer. We're a middle aged couple with a Regal Unlimited subscription and a serious fascination with movie popcorn.
And we are documenting all the movies we see in 2025. And that's all the movies we see in the theater. So not everything we see
Yes.
on TV.
Yes.
But we went to a theater, didn't we?
We went to a
Sure
theater.
did.
Yes. Yesterday we
Oh
went
boy.
to United Palace in Washington Heights for the opening of their movie. Sorry, of the opening of
You
their.
want to start over?
No.
Okay.
Opening of their movie season. And their movie season started off with a bang because they showed the original 3 Star Wars movies in a marathon.
We are specifically talking about episodes 4 through 6. So A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
Sure, if we're going to retcon it. Otherwise known as fucking Star Wars. I'm sorry. The first movie is called Star Wars.
That's fine.
Whatever. Fucking bullshit. Movie's called Star Wars.
Okay. So,
I'm
yes.
going to die on that hill.
All right, so this was a marathon event. This was 9 hours in the theater, most of it sitting in the same seats. And by the end, we were pretty stiff and not happy. But we were very happy to see these films again.
Yeah, I mean, the idea was, it was a way to get people to this theater. It's in Washington Heights. It's like a restored old movie house.
From
So
1930, yeah.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it was the 95th birthday of the theater. So, it was like an event. And so they had all sorts of mostly cheesy, but fun things happening before each of the movies, and then there was an hour intermission between each movie.
So you get stuff to eat.
So you get stuff to eat, and
Stretch your legs.
it's not assigned seating, so you needed to get there when doors opened to kind of sit where you wanted. So we were in the front row of the upper deck, so that we had this unobstructed view of a very big screen of these movies.
It was great.
And yeah, it was a lot of fun to, just kind of be in this kind of fan-based environment. There was a costume contest. So, people had their cosplay going, and there were a lot of people there with lightsabers and stuff. And
there was a raffle for a very badly dented but very original Star Wars lunchbox from 1978, 79. And Jennifer entered the raffle, but unfortunately did not win.
That's fine. I got a free raffle ticket because I became a member of the film series just to make sure that we got tickets for this anyway. So
yeah,
I got a free raffle ticket. I got a free box of popcorn, and I have a free ticket for all the rest of the movies in their season.
And this is not a Regal Cinema.
It's not.
So we had to pay for these tickets.
We paid for these tickets.
As we've said before, we are not associated or patronized.
Yes, we are not.
We are not sponsored by
yeah.
the Regal Corporation in any way.
Mm-hmm.
We can see movies other places.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen.
Yeah.
They had popcorn, so that was all it took to get us in the door. No, it was about Star Wars. It was
about Star Wars. And, just about kind of reliving the experience of seeing those movies. The first one I didn't see in the movie theater. The second and the third movie I saw in the movie theater. And then I saw all of them again in the theater when they were re-released before Phantom Menace came out, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a really fun experience. Also at a big old movie theater when the Ziegfeld was a movie theater that, was full of people just direly excited to see, and this obviously wasn't as full of people, it wasn't the same novelty as that moment, but it was a ton of fun.
It's interesting because 2 years ago I saw Return of the Jedi because it was released for its 40th, 50th, what would that be?
2 years ago would have been its 40th anniversary.
Its 40th anniversary. And I had always remembered Return of the Jedi as being the weakest of the 3 movies. That time when I saw it, I was so in love with it. I just thought, oh my God, this is amazing. Having now watched all 3 back to back, it's still
the weakest of the three.
but it's still so good.
Yeah, it's the movie that has the least Luke, Leia, and Han in it. Is the thing. Like, there's a whole bunch of the, like, action of fighting the stormtroopers and stuff and fighting the Empire that's done by the Ewoks.
Sure.
And
Luke and Leia are in that scene, though. And Chewbacca.
What scene? Like, there's 75,000 scenes with the Ewoks, right?
Fine.
Like, but
I think the real problem is that George Lucas added a musical number to the beginning of the film set in Jabba's palace, which is
just terrible.
Done largely with
awful.
Muppets, or I guess they're not technically Muppets.
It's the reason why it looks awful. Also, is that it's not. It's CGI,
okay.
Right? It's 2003 CGI.
Wow, that does explain it. It doesn't look good.
But
that was not
the music
in the original
is
film.
awful, and it's the wrong tenor of the moment. It's like none of the Star Wars music holds up to being a complete song.
Right.
They're like little interludes of like jazz, vaguely alien sounding jazz. When you make it a whole song with like lyrics, it sounds stupid. And it's a stupid sounding song.
Lyrics in a made up language.
In a made up language.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not a made up language. Some of the language. Well, okay, that one's a made up language, but like some of the languages in at least the first movie are actual languages, right? But whether it's a real language or made up language, the song sounds stupid, and it's like the wrong tenor, like it's the wrong emotional vibe for the moment that it's inserted into, where you're supposed to notice for the first time just how awful Jabba is, where he keeps this dancing girl, and then when she has the slightest moment of defiance, he kills her, right? Or dumps her in the Rancor's den, and you know she's going to get et, right? Like, so, yeah. So now we're going to
see it.
Dude, you don't see it and you don't see her, and there's no way out of this place. She got eaten by the Rancor. Like, there's no debate about this.
I guarantee you there's an extended universe book about that character and how she got out of the Rancor pit.
Fine, whatever. I don't care about the extended universe. I'm talking about the fucking movie. In the fucking movie,
okay.
She got eaten by a Rancor.
Not so many F-bombs,
so
please. We're trying not to get them. Why are you so
Who's going to
grumpy
notice?
Today?
Who's going to notice?
So grumpy today?
I'm not grumpy. It's just like, this is so obvious. I don't even understand why you're arguing with me about it.
But we're having this big discussion about the worst thing in the entire trilogy, and we love these movies.
Understood.
Unbelievable.
It was a 30-second comment that's turned into like a 3-minute conversation.
Okay, so to get back on track, my love for Star Wars cannot be overexpressed. I would say that one of the biggest philosophical dilemmas of the 20th century was whether Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back was the better movie. And I'm still not sure. So
I think The Empire Strikes Back is
that's the common consensus, and I can absolutely see the argument for that. It looks better. The actors are better in their roles. The whole thing flows better. It also doesn't really have a story. A bunch of things happen and then it ends. Whereas Star Wars has this incredible build-up, and then it ends with the destruction of the Death Star and medal ceremony, and you're out.
The end.
Yeah.
Very true, right? Like, yes, it's intended for a different purpose, right? The first movie is made as if it's going to be the only movie.
Yeah.
And no Star Wars movie since then has been made that way. Like, they all are made with the idea that they're either connecting to existing stories or telling you parts of something you already know, or they don't have to finish because there's going to be another one after it. But it's like I think what makes it a better movie is that it ends in uncertainty and doubt. Like, I feel like it's the only moment in that and Rogue One, I feel like, are the only two movies in the whole thing that have any level of uncertainty, any level of, like, it might not all turn out great. It's not all going to be perfect. Like, the good guys aren't always just, the goodest of the good guys. Like, there's some doubt about something. And I think that makes it, at least for me, a better movie.
So we could talk about the Star Wars movies for at least 6 hours. This video is not going to be 6 hours long, I promise. This will be our shortest video.
Why do you even say these things?
Because I like to lie to our viewers.
Uh-huh.
Okay. No, I think this will actually be shorter because I don't think we're going to relitigate everything about the Star Wars movies. We could. We absolutely could. The two of us could, but no. We're just going to say how much we love these movies. It is absolutely a joy to watch them, even now, as adults. We were talking about it beforehand, and I said that if you had told my 8-year-old self, right, in 1979, who had just seen Star Wars and was waiting for The Empire Strikes Back to come out, if you had said, there's going to be 3 of them, and when you're in your 50s, you're going to go sit and watch all 3 of them in a row in one day on a Saturday, I would have said to you as an 8-year-old, right, because we do that every weekend. Because that's how I felt about these movies. I wanted to watch them all the time. Famously, I was a big fan of the Star Wars Holiday Special because in 1978, that was all you had. So Star Wars had come and gone, right? It was no longer in the movie theaters. They released that holiday special to keep people interested. It's terrible. I've watched it since, and it's god-awful. But
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's really bad. But I got to see my favorite characters again, and I was just entranced. I was enchanted.
Yeah.
You show me a picture of Luke Skywalker. Show me a picture of Boba Fett for him. That was the first appearance of Boba Fett.
You know, I'm not going to live long enough to understand. The thing about watching, so not everybody who was at the theater yesterday stayed for all 3 movies, right? So
but a bunch of people did.
But a bunch of people did. But, so certainly in the first movie, every time you saw, for the first time, not even a major character, a character that has, like, a name that people remember, people would clap. And,
Well, I feel like the first one, it was Luke, Han, Leia, Ben Kenobi, Darth Vader.
Yeah, understood.
Those are the main, and Chewbacca. Those are the characters that people cheered for.
Yeah.
And people went crazy. It was, wow, oh my God, Chewbacca exists.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But
as the day went on,
movie, they did the same thing, but then it got a little out of hand. It was things like, the first time Lando Calrissian comes on screen, of course, people cheered. But like the first time Boba Fett comes on screen, people lost their ever-living minds.
I've really had no idea until maybe the last like 5 or 6 years just how much people are like have a bug up their butt about friggin' Boba Fett. I had no idea.
If it wasn't for Boba Fett, you wouldn't have The Mandalorian. You never would have seen Baby Yoda.
Understood, but like I guess it was when The Mandalorian came out but no, I guess maybe it was before that. But anyway, like in the recent years that I didn't know that Boba Fett was a character that people cared about. Like, it's a throwaway character, right? Who, like, has very little to do, in the actual 3 Star Wars movies, right? Like, in my mind, those are really the actual 3 Star Wars movies. Like, it's a throwaway character. And one of the things that's great about Star Wars is how many of those throwaway characters are vivid on the screen, at least. And once they became toys, you would know the name of the character because you didn't know the name of the character from the movies. But, like the guys in the Mos Eisley Cantina, right? Like, and the blue elephant guy and the, like, the dudes that play the... What is that? Is that an oboe with the little narrow top?
It's a clarinet, but I don't think it's supposed to be an actual clarinet.
No, I know. But I mean, there's like a narrow top actual woodwind instrument that exists, whatever it is. Okay. Those guys, like you can see them, like they're very vivid kind of characters. And so all of those kinds of characters throughout the 3 movies, people were cheering when they came on. Mon Mothma, when you see her, like people cheered, and it's
yes, because of this phenomenon, by the 3rd movie, the audience was just losing their minds every time anybody character came on screen.
Admiral
Akbar, and like literally people were shouting, "It's a trap!
Yeah,
it's a trap!"
Like okay,
really loud.
Yeah. It was both great and like Okay, come on now. Like,
people,
some of these characters are not worth that. Like Jabba the Hutt. Like, why am I cheering for Jabba the Hutt? Jabba the Hutt sucks. He's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to cheer for him.
They cheered even louder when Princess Leia killed him.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
spoilers.
No, people were very, very happy about that, as they should be. Like, yes.
But yeah, but like also people in the audience had lightsabers that they
Yeah.
were waving in the air all the time.
Lots of good costumes and
lots
stuff.
of good costumes. It was, the thing was, this was joyful in a level that I have not felt joyful at anything in some time. And it was just, people were so happy to be doing this, to be seeing these movies again.
Yeah.
They actually
and seeing
asked,
them together in a theater.
Yeah, the host actually asked at one point, is there anybody here who's never seen these movies before? And I think 2 people in the entire theater clapped.
Well, and they were little kids. Like, they were clearly kids that were there with their parents.
And there were not as many kids as you might think, but there were kids there.
There were quite a few kids there, but I mean, it's a long haul to have kids there all day.
That's very true.
We didn't see, there were more people on the orchestra level, and that's where all the kids were, because you could run around and not worry that they would tip off the edge and die. And so you would see them running around between the showings, but it would make much more sense to bring a smaller kid to one of them, but yeah, no, there were some kids that were there the whole day for sure.
So I think we should probably wrap up here, because we don't want to just go on and on about the movies as much as we'd like to. But the experience of it was
see
amazing.
Movies at United Palace.
Absolutely.
It's 175th and Fort Nicholas. No, Fort Nicholas is where the
Broadway.
Yeah, no, it's Broadway. It's
Broadway.
175th and Broadway. Fort
in
Nicholas
New York
is
City.
where the train is.
If you're watching this outside of New York City, well, you'll just have to come to New York to do this, and we'll be happy to see you.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous space. $10 movies once a month.
Amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing venue. But I think that the big takeaway for me was just like that it's not the power of movies. I don't think there are any other movies in my experience that can do this. I don't think the Harry Potter movies achieve this. I don't think Narnia or Lord of the Rings.
It's a generational thing.
It's not a trilogy thing. I don't know.
It's a generational thing.
I don't
because
think
people feel the way we do about Star Wars. There are people who feel that. There are a lot of people who feel that about Harry Potter.
You say that, I just don't know. I don't know if prove me wrong, America. I don't care. But the point is that for me, the joy of these movies is still alive after 40 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's an astounding feat on the part of George Lucas and everyone who made these films.
Yeah.
All the incredible actors and the producers and set designers and matte painters and model makers. Oh my God, the special effects. The special effects of New Hope don't quite hold up anymore.
Of course they don't. They really don't.
But by Empire Strikes Back, they sure do.
No, they don't. But they don't look as dated. But no, they don't.
It's an amazing jump from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you really can see it, particularly when you're watching them back to back, to just notice the 70s transition to the 80s. I mean, even if nothing else, Mark Hamill's haircut. Right? Like, just... Oh yeah, right. This third movie is made 8 years later. His haircut from the first movie was dated. Like there's no way he'd be walking around with that same haircut, right? Like, yeah.
All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. And this has been a lot of movie videos in a row.
Yeah, I saw 5 movies in the movie theater in the space of 3 calendar days.
And you're going to see another one tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to the mystery movie tomorrow.
Then we'll take a little bit of a break.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon.
Bye.
Bye.